Hey, this is Josh Nelson with Plumber SEO, and on this video I really want to give you a strong understanding of our program, how it works, what's included, and how we're able to get such great results for our plumbing and HVAC clients throughout the country. And now maybe you've been exposed to us because you read our book, The Complete Guide to Internet Marketing for Plumbing Contractors. Maybe we met you at one of the PHCC events or at one of the QSC meetings. Maybe you read one of our articles in Plumbing and Mechanical or the HVAC Insider. In either event, you've gotten to the place where you're saying, all right, show me what you can do, show me what you can bring to the table. And that's what I want to do on this video. Just paint a clear picture of what we do, how we do it, and how we can provide great results to you online. So for us, it all starts with your website. And a typical plumbing and HVAC company has between 3 and 5 pages on their website. Home, about us, our services, contact us. In some cases we find that there's more. In some cases we find that that's really all there is. And what we've found in our experience working with plumbing companies throughout the United States and helping them get ranked better on the search engines is that we need to have a page on the site for each one of the services that we intend to rank for. So when I say it all starts with the site, typically what we're doing is we're wanting to build additional pages for each one of our services. So if you've got a services section on your website that lists out everything that you do, drain cleaning, emergency plumbing, water heater installation, repiping, and all of those different things, that's great. But we need to take it a little bit beyond that in that we need to create pages on the site for each one of those services combined with your city. So whatever your major city is, we need to make sure we've got your city plumber, your city plumbing, your city emergency plumber, your city drain cleaning. And so we need to build out that additional content on the site. From there, we know that most of our clients in the plumbing and HVAC world service between at least a 15 and 35 mile radius. And within that radius, there's a lot of little cities. So depending upon what market you're in, if you're in Miami, if you're in Phoenix, if you're in Los Angeles, those are what we would consider to be your main city. But your sub-cities, in Miami, Kendall, Palmetto Bay, Pinecrest, there's people in those cities that are going to search for their sub-city, not the main city. So we want to make sure we've got pages on the site that are optimized for those sub-cities. And so that's what we mean in that we got to start with your site and do all of the content and all of the pages so that we can have indexation on Google for all of the different things that you do and all of the different keywords that somebody might type in when and if they're looking for what you do. Then, of course, there's on-page optimization work that needs to be done. Now, if you do have a great site and it's exactly where you want it to be and it's got all the content that you want it to have, our team's still going to want to get in there and make on-page optimization updates to your title tags, your H1 tags, your meta descriptions, the alt attribute distribution on your attribution on your images, things like that, just so that when Google gets to those pages, the home page, the services page, the about us page, each one of them is optimized for a specific word, and the languaging of the site, in those title tags, H1 tags, etc., is how Google knows what that page is about and where it should rank. And so we're going to do all of the on-page optimization for your existing pages and those new pages we're going to be building for you. And what that does is it gives us that placeholder. It gives us the opportunity to show up on Google and Yahoo and Bing somewhere for those different keyword combinations. Doesn't mean we're ranking, just means that we're in the index. The next piece of it is building authority for the domain, building links so that the site can rank better. The number that we've come up with is that building the site, doing the on-page optimization, getting all of that stuff right is about 10 to 15% of the battle. That just gives us indexation. The other 90 or 85% of the battle is then getting authority so that each of those pages, instead of ranking on page 10 or page 11, start to rank on page 1, and so that you can really show up at the top of the results when people are looking for what you do. And so that's really where the authority development portion of our services comes into play. And there's a number of things we do in order to develop authority for your domain. And really it all comes down to having more links, more citations, and better content on your site than your competition. And so when it comes to link building, there's a couple of things we can do. The first thing is to develop citations by going to the major online directory listings, Angie's List, City Search, Judy's Book, Best of the Web, Hot Frog, and you see a montage of different online directories that you need to be listed in. Making sure you're in all of these directories is important because it gives us links, which gives us authority back to your domain. But even more important than that is making sure that there's consistency in the information that's listed on these online directories. And if you read our book, if you've listened to my webinar, if you've been through our guide, the Ultimate Guide to Internet Marketing for Plumbing Contractors, you know that citations or listings or references of your company's name, address, and phone number are what Google looks at to determine whether or not you should be ranked on the map. It's one of the critical components. So what we find with most of our clients is that they're in a lot of these online directories, but the information is sporadic. They have multiple numbers listed on different sites, different listings of their company's name, different listings of their website even. And so the process becomes, how can we get into those listings? And this is what our team does, go into those listings and make it consistent and uniform across the board. So when Google spiders the web and says, okay, where is XYZ Plumbing? They say, this is their phone number, this is their address, this is their website, and this is where we're finding them consistently across the web. That's a critical component for developing authority and inbound links. And consistency, again, is key. The next thing is we want to create fresh content and fresh information on the website. New information continuously being developed. And content comes in many forms. It could be videos, it could be articles, it could be audio recordings. And what we do is we take information that would be of value or interest to your potential customers. So if somebody is thinking about buying a new water heater and they're kind of thinking, what should I do? Is it worth spending a little bit more money to get a tankless water heater versus a tanked water heater? And what are the benefits of that? Why would I want to do that? Well, that's a great piece of content that we can develop. What are the differences? What are the benefits? How much more does it cost? What are the differences between doing a sewer replacement trench or a trenchless sewer replacement? What are some best practices on how you can maintain your water heater? What do you do in the event of a plumbing emergency? All of these are pieces of content. And what our team does is we become your ghost writers. We're going to come up with the ideas, come up with the content based on trends and what we've done research-wise as to what people are wanting and looking for when they need plumbing services, and create that content. And we're going to be doing it for you consistently throughout the month. Typically, depending upon what level you come in with us, we're going to be writing about 4 articles or pieces of content that we can put on your website, which gives you more authority, more fresh content, and then put out on strategically selected online sites, whether it's article directory sites, video hosting sites. We can take one piece of content, put it to a number of really well-selected places, and each piece that gets picked up outside of your blog creates inbound links back to your website. And by doing that consistently, again, it's all about creating authority, authenticity for your domain so that we can get you to rank better. So we become your ghost writers, and we write this information on your behalf for your credit for your domain. The next really important strategy for getting inbound links to your site is what we call competitive link acquisition. And so competitive link acquisition is the process of looking at your competitors, figuring out who's linking to them, figuring out which of those links would make sense and add value to you and to your link profile, and then figuring out a way to get those same or similar links pointed back to your website. So just to break this down, let's say that you're in the Dallas market. We would go into Google and we'll type in Dallas Plumber, Dallas Plumbing, Dallas Plumbing Contractor, Dallas Water Heater Repair, Dallas Emergency Plumbing, and inevitably there are companies that are ranking well for those keywords. There's a guy in spot 1, a guy in spot 2, a guy in spot 3, a guy in spot 4. And the reason he's ranked, or those guys are ranked in that position, is because they've got more authority, more inbound links, more authenticity than you. The key component there being links, quality links, not a number of links, but really good anchor links that add authority to their website. We have tools, we know the systems to look and figure out who is linking to their website and get those same or similar links pointed back to your website. And by doing all of these things in tandem in a really effective way, we're able to move your website up the listings for not just Your City Plus Plumber, Your City Plus Plumbing, but for a variety of the keywords that are really important, that are going to drive quality inbound calls that turn into business for your organization. So that's developing the authority for your domain. From there, we got to look at how we can get you ranked better on the Google map. And call it Google Places, call it Google Plus Local, whatever you want to call it, it's the map, right? And there's some very specific things that can be done in order to improve your placement on the map. And the reality is, when someone types a search into Google for plumber, plumbing, the first thing they see is the map. So we need to make sure that we're ranking well on the map for the plumbing related terms in your market. So again, if you've seen my webinars or read the book, this is going to be a little bit redundant, but there are 4 critical aspects to getting ranked on the Google map. The first is having a properly claimed and optimized Google Places listing. The second is having a clearly established name, address, phone number, aka NAP, profile that's reinforced consistently all throughout the web. The third, and maybe kind of one of the most important, is having real reviews from your real customers in your true service area. And then the fourth is having giving Google confidence in what that true service area is. And so what we're going to do is implement a strategy to make sure we're tackling these 4 main components to get you ranked well on the Google map. So claim and optimize the Google Places listing. You know, we've done a lot of research, a lot of homework. We've got a complete guide that just talks about how to get ranked on the map. But we've got some specific best practices on what we can do inside your Google Places or Google Plus Local listing in order to improve the on-page optimization of that specific component. So we're going to get into your Google Places listing. We're going to make sure that it's got, no rules are being broken with the names, the categories, the descriptions. We've got some specific strategies on how we can leverage tools like Panoramio and YouTube in order to upload your images and upload your videos in a way that Google says, oh wow, this is exactly where this company is listed. But the real snag that we typically find in Google Places optimization is cleaning up duplicate listings and inconsistencies. If you've been involved in internet for any period of time, and you probably have, maybe you've worked with Reach Local or Yodel or one of these other companies, and they promised the world, and they came in and they claimed a bunch of different Google Places listings for you, but they didn't pay close attention to the consistency, so you're not ranking well on the map. Well, what we need to do is find those inconsistencies, communicate with Google to say, hey, look, this is, there's 3 or 4 listings for this company, but this is the primary listing, this is the right name, address, phone number information, and that's the process that typically moves us past whatever the snag is that's causing us problems with our ranking in the Google Places. So our team's going to manage that entire process for you. From there, we're going to implement a review acquisition system, a way that we can consistently request and get inbound reviews from your true customers in your true service area. And so we've actually got a tool that we offer. It's called Nearby Now, and the way it works is when one of your technicians goes out in the field and is providing service, they're going to take out their iPhone, and I'm going to assume that you have either an iPhone or an Android or an iPad available in the field for your technicians. If you don't, there's a couple different ways you can do this, but this way actually works really well because there's an app that runs on their smartphone, and what they'll do is they'll just press check in. And once they check in, that information, because most of these smartphones have GPS capabilities, the GPS data will be captured from the smartphone and plot where they just checked in on the map. That information can then be syndicated back to your website, back to your social media profiles, and then picked up by Google, so Google starts to know what your true service area is. So, what we're doing is we're creating a heat map and helping Google understand what that true service area is. So it's getting syndicated out to Facebook, to your website, to the various pages on your website, and then to Nearby Now, All of this helps to give Google confidence in your true service area. Once they've done that check-in, the next step is we want to start to make a system or a process where your technicians are consistently requesting and getting reviews from your customers. So the next thing they'll do after they've provided service, they're going to go back to their iPhone or their Android or whatever mobile device you guys have in the field, and they're going to press a button that says Request Review. And they'll type a quick description of what they did. They'll tell the customer, hey, I'm going to send you a request for review. Would you rather I send this via email or cell phone? And you have the option. So you can actually send an email with a request for check-in, a request for review. And then the customer will automatically get an email saying, hey, thanks for your business. We'd like it if you could write us a review. And we give them some options. They can write that review on Google Places. They can do it on City Search. They can do it on Yelp. They can do it on Better Business Bureau. They can do it on Angie's List. We can push them to whatever directories you need most reviews for. And we want to make sure we've got a diverse review population. So we're not just getting reviews on Google Places. We're not just getting reviews on, on Yelp.com. We want to give a diverse review population. So we've got reviews, and Google looks around and it says, okay, wow, this company's got a lot of reviews on a variety of different places. The other benefit of doing it this way is it makes it real easy for your customer to write a review based on the tools that they're most comfortable with. So some people are Google users. They've got a Gmail account. They do YouTube. They do YouTube, and so when they get the option to write a review and Google's there, they're just going to log in and write that review. Other people don't have Google, and so if you try to send them to Google to write a review, they're going to get confused pretty quickly. So maybe they're a Yelp user. They go to restaurants all the time, they write reviews at restaurants, and that's just their tool of choice. So, but you get the idea. The idea is to give them an option to write a review on whatever profile is easiest for them. Make it real simple. They click the button, they go to the review page, and they write the review. And what that does is it helps us to get those reviews, which are critical to placement, and make it easy for you because it's a systematic part of your business and the way that you operate. And so that's the Google Places optimization strategy. We need to have a well-established NAP that's consistently referenced with a consistent strategy for getting real reviews, and that's how we start to move up in the map listings. And if you looked at our case studies and examples prior to getting to this place where you're watching this video, you'll know that our clients rank very well organically and on the map because the strategies and the systems that we put in place work extremely well to accomplish that authenticity, that transparency, and that authority for the organization. So then what we want to do is we want to cast our gaze to social media management. And most of the time when I talk to plumbing and HVAC companies, they say, Josh, I've heard all of the buzz and all the noise about social media, about Facebook with millions and millions of users, and Twitter and people checking in and using these social media profiles, but I have no idea how that applies to me and my plumbing business. I don't see how this is going to help me get more customers and grow my revenues. And so I'd like to really answer that by asking a question, and that question is, right now, what is your number one source of business? Just stop what you're doing right now, think just for a few minutes. And probably what you're going to come up with is, most of our business actually winds up coming from repeat business, from word of mouth business, people that told their friends about us, and then they decided to give us a call. Well, social media then gives you the opportunity to take that repeat and word of mouth business, inject it with steroids, and take it to a whole nother level. The average Facebook user has 135 friends, and they're checking in and they're going on Facebook on an average 2 to 3 times per day. So if you can get a process in place to get your true customer to like you on Facebook or subscribe to you on YouTube or to plus you on Google+, that gives you 2 major benefits. The first benefit is they're checking in a couple times a day. If you're putting out valuable information on your social media profiles on a consistent basis, you're going to remain top of mind. They're logging into Facebook and they see a check-in from you and your guys, or they see a picture, or they see some relevant update, and you're remaining top of mind with them. So the next time they need a plumbing service, who do you think they're going to call? They're going to call you because they remember you, they like you, and they feel like they've developed a deeper relationship with you. The other major benefit is when they press that like button for the first time, they're going to have exposed you to their 135 or so friends. So it's almost as if they picked up the phone or they wrote out a quick note and they said, hey, I found this great plumbing company here in our area. The next time you need plumbing, call your company. And they sent that out to 135 of their closest friends. I think, if you look at social media in that lens and you start to realize it's not a demand generation system for us. It's an opportunity to connect with our customers on a deeper level, get more repeat and referral business, which is the lifeblood of any organization. You start to understand, man, there's some real potential if I start to harness the power of this social media avenue. So, what do we do for you on a social media perspective? Well, we're going to set up your social media profiles if you don't have them. We find a lot of our clients probably already have Facebook and Twitter. Some have Google Plus and LinkedIn. But if you don't have them, we're going to set them up for you. If you do have them, we're going to go in and make sure that they're optimized correctly, that they're named correctly, that the branding of those pages are consistent with your website and your brand as an organization. And then our team is going to manage that social media process for you on an ongoing basis. So again, we got to have a way to get our customers to press the like button or the follow button or the subscribe button. And then we got to be consistently posting information that's relevant and helps you remain top of mind on a consistent basis. Because even if you had 1,000 people that liked you on Facebook, if you never post anything there, you haven't accomplished anything because you're not remaining top of mind with them. So what our team does is they come up with interesting, valuable content pieces that they post literally on a daily basis to your social media profiles on your behalf. And we're not talking about obnoxious, hey, get 10% off this, hey, call us for, an estimate today. It's just valuable updates, tips on how to maintain your water heater system, things that are going on in the local community, pictures of you and your staff. And so we're going to work with you, we're going to get that content, but our team's going to manage that on your behalf so you don't have to think about it. And that's what we're going to bring to the table from a social media perspective. From there, we've talked about what we're going to do for SEO, what we're going to do for map optimization. We talked about social media. From there, we need to start to understand what tools and metrics we can put in place to measure all of this. To really quantify, okay, so we're doing all of this stuff online, but how do we know what our return on investment is? How do we know if this is working or not working? So there are 3 really critical reporting pieces that we put in place. The first one is just basic analytics. Analytics being, how many people got to the website, what did they type in to get there, how long did they stay, what pages did they, spend the most time on, and that's the first report. And these reports do come to you weekly. So the important metric that we're looking at there, the key performance indicator is, are there more people getting to the website, and are they typing in the keywords that are going to generate revenue to get to the site? So that's what we look at from an analytics perspective. The next critical report is keyword placement. So in the beginning of our engagement, the first thing we're going to do is develop a list or an inventory of keywords. Your City Plus Plumber, your City Plus Plumbing, your City Plus Emergency Plumber, your City Plus, all of these different things. And what a reporting tool does is it's going to go out onto Google and Yahoo and Bing and determine what position you're in for each of those keywords. And so when we start, you'll say, okay, here's where I was. Either I wasn't ranking, or I was on page 3, or maybe I was on page 1 for this word. And each week you're going to be able to see, okay, how am I trending? Am I going up for these keywords? Am I going down? Obviously the idea is to see those keywords moving from, page 10 to page 7 to page 6 to page 1. And it's really exciting to watch your keywords rise in the search engines. And it helps you get a feel for what what's actually happening on our end. We're doing all of this work in the back end, but this gives you visibility. How am I ranking? But as far as we're concerned, ranking well, getting traffic doesn't amount to a hill of beans if it's not driving inbound calls, and those inbound calls aren't converting to service revenue for your organization. So the third critical component we like to put in place is call tracking. And what we do with call tracking is we put a unique phone number on the website that rings to your office just like it always does. We want that to be a local area code number, just like the one you have now. But all it is a forwarding number. It's so somebody who pulls up your website, they see a local, whatever area code number, they dial that number and it rings to your office. Hey, thanks for calling XYB. How can I help you? But that call tracking number gives us the ability now to gauge how many calls came in and actually listen to recordings of those conversations. So we can quantify down to a very finite level not just how much traffic came in, but how many calls did it generate and how much revenue was booked as a result of all of this effort. And so those are the key reporting metrics we're going to put in place on your behalf. So just to recap, I know I've given a pretty broad overview, but I want to give you a concise understanding of what this program includes and what we're going to bring to the table. It starts with the website. So we're going to build out the website, whether you have a great website or a poor website. If it's great, we're going to harness the potential. We're going to log into that website. We're going to build out the pages. We're going to optimize the pages. If it's that you have a bad website, you don't have a website at all, we're going to build a new website on your behalf, and we're going to make sure that all of this content is bolted onto that website. From there, we're going to launch our proactive citation development, link building, content development strategy. And our team is going to be doing all of that on your behalf to create the authority for the website and get it to start to rise in the search engines. From there, we're going to launch our proactive Google Maps or Google Plus local optimization strategy by optimizing your Google Places listing, making sure that we get consistency with the name, address, phone number information, and launching that process to systematically get reviews from your real customers in your true service area so that Google really sees you as the predominant player in your market. Then we're going to launch a social media marketing program that helps to connect with your customers on a deeper level and start to really get more repeat and referral business. With the overall goal, once we've done all of this, of maintaining top placement on Google and Yahoo and Bing for the most important plumbing and HVAC related keywords, drive more qualified traffic from people that are looking for the services that you offer in your market, getting better conversion of those people that actually get to the site so that they pick up the phone and call in, and then leverage social media in a way that's going to drive more repeat and referral business. Well, I hope that you got a lot of value out of this overview. I hope you now start to see what we're going to bring to the table from a holistic perspective. If after you've seen this, you feel like you'd like to work together, you'd like to have our team implement this plan on your behalf, I'd encourage you to give us a call. You can reach us at 866-610-4647.